Are these the best Allen Edmonds boots you can get in 2025? And how can you get these and all Allen Edmonds shoes and boots at half the cost? That's what we're going to talk about in this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please enjoy. So first of all, I'm going to bury the lead a little bit on the most interesting topic that I will talk about, and that is how you can get these at half the cost. I have a trick or a hack that I'll be sharing with you that some Allen Edmonds enthusiasts might get irritated by, but I think we should share it with everybody, especially with the state of Allen Edmonds and the corporation at this time. I'm bearing that lead, so it's going to be at the end of the video. It's going to be when I'm doing the top-down shots of the boot. So if that's all you want to see, just skip along to when you see the top-down shots of the boot, and then you'll see that hack. But I really want to talk about why these boots are special and why I do love Allen Edmonds boots, despite you guys, or some of you guys, thinking that I'm just a shill. First of all, why are these boots so good? Well, this is the last pair of Allen Edmonds boots that I found that come with a veg tan insole and a veg tan sole. So basically, this is how I've always liked my dress shoes, my Allen Edmonds Park Avenues, my Strands. They just have that nice thick veg tan insole, the cork filler, Goodyear welted veg tan welt, and then a leather sole. Now these have a leather sole with this rubber topper, but this was the last boot I could see that Allen Edmonds carries. So recently I was up in Port Washington where they make these boots. I went to their factory store. I went through every one of their boots, and all the other pairs have all changed to this new almost Thursday-like construction where they put just a synthetic leather board, lasting board, and then they put Poron on top of that, and then just like a glove leather sock liner. And I just do not like that. When it comes to Goodyear welted boots, I think one of the best things about them is when you can get that veg tan insole with the cork filler, because that's when it really molds to your feet. And it just blew my mind that Allen Edmonds would make all these wonderful shoes that way, but when it comes to their boots, they completely have discontinued that form of construction. And the Dalton boot was one of the last ones, along with this boot, the Liverpool boot, to have that. And the Dalton boot is being discontinued. So right now, as of 2025, this is technically the best Allen Edmonds boot you can get for your money. I'm not going to talk about the reserve line of Allen Edmonds, this new super expensive line of boots. I don't even look at those or consider those an option, because to me they are extremely overpriced and I wouldn't even look at them as an option. There's so many other better options. But if you are someone wanting an American made boot and who wants that heritage factor with the leather insole, but you also want it to be American made and something that you could wear with a suit, well, this is it. This is what you get. Now, you could go to Alden, and Alden's a great footwear company, but for Allen Edmonds, if you want a boot, this is the one you have to get. And it really is a nice looking boot. And you know, a lot has been said about Allen Edmonds quality control, and for $550, yeah, they're not really that worth it, but you can get amazing deals on them that make these boots absolutely worth it. So what we'll do now is we'll turn the camera around, we'll take a deep dive into these boots, and then we'll see if it's something that you should pick up. So I don't know if I already said this in the intro, but these boots are a factory second, so you're going to see some defects. And I paid $275 for these boots, which is half the price that they go for new. So my opinion will be skewed based on that price. Basically, I'm happy with the purchase. I have no affiliation with Allen Edmonds. They don't care who I am. And I purchased these with my own money, and it's going to be a boot that I'm probably going to have for a long time. So basically, I needed a slip-on black boot that I could wear with a suit, and I was visiting family up in Port Washington. I ran in the store, and I was able to get these at that great price, and I'm happy with them. I'm happy with them because they have that veg tan insole and that thick sole that kind of serves as a midsole at this portion of the boot, because they have this integrated leather topper that just gives you more tractions. And kind of a pro tip when it comes to Allen Edmonds, when you see that, that means that it's a factory second. There's another symbol that they put here. I believe it's like a hammer, and that means that they have been resold at the factory. But one thing I've always loved about Allen Edmonds black shoes, and I've had several pairs, especially an older pair of Park avenues that have just aged beautifully over time is their black calf leather is really nice leather. Now, I don't think it's going to come across on screen, but it just wears really nice. I haven't done anything to these. I haven't put polish on them. I haven't put any cream on them, but it's just a really beautiful black calf leather. Now, all black calf leathers are going to be a very pigmented leather because obviously they're not going to be black straight from the cow, but Allen Edmonds just does a wonderful job at this. I think it's one of the better leathers that you can put on a black shoe right now, under $1,000. Allen Edmonds getting an American-made shoe with all that this comes with for $275. Of course, it's going to be a great deal. The other thing that this boot has that I didn't really notice it had before was it has actually 2 layers of the elastic goring for the Chelsea boot. So I did notice it was kind of a little bit harder to get on and off, a little bit tighter there, but that's because they have 2 layers here. So there's 4 layers per boot of that goring. So that is going to help make these last even longer. Now, going to things people hate about Allen Edmonds is that's going to be their quality control and some of the materials they put in their boots. So one things they do is they do this fiberboard heel sack instead of a leather heel sack. Now, for visuals, it doesn't really make a difference on a black boot because they stain this black, but people hate the idea that this isn't leather. Well, I love these heel stacks. Let me tell you why. I have flat feet. These heel stacks are made in a way where there's a rise on the instep of the foot. See how this is taller. This shifts the whole shoe kind of outward like that, which, you know, I'm not a foot doctor or anything, but I have had to wear inserts for arch support from the Good Feet store since I was 20 years old. And what this does is it kind of shifts the whole boot over while keeping the front flat, and that gives you that natural arch support, which makes them just extremely comfortable over a long period of time. And it helps me keep my legs straight because that's a problem, because when my feet collapse inwards, then it can kind of make your legs bend inwards, and that's just not healthy for long-term knee health and joint health. So I love that heel stack. I'd rather it be this fiberboard with that unique way they do it rather than just a standard flat heel stack. Then you go up to the welt and the welt stitching. Now the welt stitching, you know, it's fine. It's nothing great, right? They don't channel it. It just is what it is, I guess. And if you look at the joint, it's not pretty. This is a factory second boot. They do sand this. They try to do some fancy things. A guy who will pay $500, $600 for a boot will look at this and just scoff at it as complete trash. And I get that, but you have to remember it's made in America. I've been reviewing a lot of Lewis Jet boots lately because they are paying the tariff, and I do love those boots. I am a fan of those boots, and I get people in the comment section just blowing me up for supporting Chinese goods. Well, I have purchased over 70 pairs of Allen Edmonds boots with my own money. I have supported US made goods for many years, and you know, sue me if I do buy some Chinese made goods because the QC is just impeccable. Now this, I just know what I'm getting with this, an American made boot. I know this is all you can get basically anymore for dress boots is Allen Edmonds or Alden's, and so I'm okay with not having perfect quality control knowing I have an American made dress boot. So that's my rant on that. The lining is really good. Edmonds has a really good liner. It's not quite up to the Alden liner, but it is a good liner. I'm always happy with it. It's nice when it breaks in, you get the oils and all that good stuff from your feet. It kind of softens up the lining. But what I really need to talk about is that thick veg tan leather insole. So that is the same insole that they do with their shoes. It's a treated veg tan leather. It breaks in. It's awesome. You can tell it's the veg tan leather because it cuts in on the inside of your foot. If it's a thin piece of leather that crawls up the top of the boot or crawls up this side of the boot, you know that it has a synthetic lasting board with a thin sock liner, leather sock liner. But this is what makes this boot so good, is that thick veg tan insole that will make the boot last for a long time. And then the overall shape of this boot is really handsome. It's a really pretty, you know, it's a little bit more unique for what Allen Edmonds normally does with their boots. It's a little bit more like European style, but it is just a nice boot. Let's turn the camera around and we'll go over sizing and how these fit. So I was kind of shocked with how they fit because I'm a 12.5D on the Brannock. So I wear 12.5D Allen Edmonds shoes, or I can also wear a 13C, which is kind of like the same with Allen Edmonds as a 12.5D. But they don't have these in half sizes, I believe. So I went and tried on the 13D, and that's what I picked up. And even at that, let me get this on real quick so I can explain what I'm talking about. That even at 13D, they are a little bit snug, which I don't mind. I like my my shoe's a little bit snug. So these boots, if you have a wide foot, they're not probably going to be the best. I know they come in wide widths, so you'd have to check that out. But this fits differently than any other Allen Edmonds shoes I've ever had. So I've had a lot of the Park Avenue, a lot of the Strands type boots, their Norwegian split toes, their Higgins Mill, their Chukka boots, all that. And with their boots, I've always gone down to 12, and with their shoes, 12.5 or 13C. It's 12.5D or 13C. But this 13D is the right size, so you almost have to size up a little bit for these because they're fairly narrow, but they're a really nice looking, more European style last. It'll break in, that calfskin will break in over time along with the vegetan footbed, and it will be super comfortable, but it is a little bit tighter. So if you have a wide foot, I just don't know if this boot is going to work with you, but it is a really pretty, really stylish boot. It can be worn with a suit, and you know, some people might say you can't wear that with a suit in formal men's fashion, but let's just face it, some people are wearing Skechers with suits nowadays. So it's post-pandemic. You can do whatever you want, whatever makes you feel good. I feel like I can wear these with a suit, pull it off, and it will work nicely. So really comfortable. You know, I do have to break in that vegetan insole. There is no foam in this shoe at all. So there's that. But let me flip the camera around, show you what I see, and tell you how you can get these at a crazy good deal. Here's the moment of truth. You know, how do you get these at such a steal of a deal? Well, it simply is, you have to kind of do what I did. When Allen Edmonds runs these sales, and they run them all the time, you'll get an email or you'll see them advertised online, and they're fine sales. They're decent, right? But you'll go online, and you know, even a boot like this would still be close to $400 as a factory second, and it's still just not that great of a price. So what you need to do is you need to call the number that I'll put in the description, and this is the actual factory. The factory where they make them, they have an outlet store. So when I was in there, I have family there, so I always go in, always buy a pair because they're such a good deal. But when I was in there, I got to talking to the sales reps, and basically you can call them, anyone can call them, but you can just give them a call, tell them what boot or shoe you're looking for. They'll scour that factory store, which has a ton of seconds, has a ton of returns, all that stuff, and they will put that shoe that they found, which is already a marked down shoe, on a special discount during the time that their normal shoes are running a discount. Now, it might not be the same. Like right now, Allen Edmonds is running a 40% on their new factory first, but at the outlet store, they're running a 20% on their factory store boots. So you can just give them a call, talk to them, and you can get a boot like this. There's more boots, same exact size online, or not online, but in their store for, after the 20% off, for like $275. And there's all sorts of boots and shoes and everything they carry. It feels like they had at least one. And then you can get to talking to the sales rep, and they'll tell you the condition of each boot. Like there's another one that's like this boot, this Liverpool boot, that wasn't in as good of a condition. It looked like a return with some heavier creases. And so they'll tell you that, or they'll say like, hey, this other pair looks pretty good, and they'll send it to you for free. And they'll even give you a return shipping notice for 30 days after to return them if you don't like what made them a factory second. So it really makes these things a steal of a deal. It's all of their shoes and their inventory at the factory. So check it out. Give them a call. Tell them Ryan sent you. No, okay, that won't help you at all. Just give them a call. See what their inventory is in your size. And they've got special shoes, special shell cordovan shoes, all sorts of nice shoes. Actually, there's a pair of natural shell cordovan shoes that are my size there right now that are on sale for like $375. But there is some, you know, serious imperfections in the natural shell cordovan, which I just couldn't get past. But there's other like color 8s that look almost perfect as factory seconds that you can get for $450-ish. Just give them a call. You know, it's kind of an old school thing. You're not gonna be able to go online and get that price, but if you give them a call, talk to the sales rep in the store at the factory, they'll be able to let you know what they have and ship it to you, and then you can always return it if it doesn't work out. So there you go. That's why Allen Edmonds is still running. It's still in business. It's got really good shoes, and for the right price, you know, they can become a steal of a deal. So thank you so much for watching. Please let me know if you have any questions, and if you're thinking about, you know, getting a pair of Chelseas like this, but don't want to do the Allen Edmonds, you might want to save a little bit of money. I will tell you that BLAKBRD Shoemaker has amazing Chelseas for less than Allen Edmonds, and also Meermin has some really nice Chelsea boots if you're not fixated on being made in America. So I'll link BLAKBRD and Meermin down below. So click on that link and that will take you, and you can find some nice Chelseas to get from those companies, which are going to save you a lot, being that they're not made in the US. But thank you so much for watching. Please let me know if you have any questions about these boots, and I will see you on the next one.